We knew that the Attorney General's office was interested in former President Trump's testimony. It was reported in December that they had asked former President Trump to sit for a deposition. But at the time, we did not know for sure that there was a subpoena, and court documents that were made public on Monday confirmed that subpoenas were issued to former President Trump and then, of course, Ivanka and Donald Trump Jr. The investigation is focusing on several areas surrounding the Trump organization, the family business. One of them has to deal with how assets belonging to the company were valued. Whether the Trump organization would perhaps tell the tax authorities one valuation to lower their tax burden, but tell a bank that that same property was worth much more to get a bigger loan or more favorable terms. It's a bit of a game that some people in the industry say is played pretty regularly, where you try to maximize things one way or the other. But strictly speaking, investigators are looking into whether that constitutes fraud, whether on taxing authorities or on the banks that were providing those loans. The Attorney General's office is running a civil investigation, so that means that it is non-criminal in nature, that nobody from this probe would be going to prison, but the company could face a fine, it could face an agreement perhaps to change its practices, some sort of a settlement like that. However, there is a parallel criminal investigation that is being run by the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, and the Attorney General's office is involved in that as well. They have some investigators working hand in hand with the DA's office. So material that could come up in the civil probe, if they determine that it indicates a crime was committed, they could pass that along to the criminal probe, which makes the subpoenas all the more interesting because a person under criminal investigation would want to object to a subpoena or at the very least assert Fifth Amendment privileges if that material was then going to be used in a criminal probe. What we hear on television, what we see on Law and Order is true. Anything you say can and will be used against you. So if you say something in a deposition setting, even though it may be in a conference room for a civil investigation, somebody doing a criminal probe may see what that testimony looks like and use that in their criminal matter. So for a person who is being questioned, they have to be aware that if there is potential criminal liability, what they say in that deposition could ultimately be used against them. The reason that we know about these subpoenas is because New York Attorney General Letitia James went to court and asked a judge to enforce them. There's indication from the Trumps, from their lawyers, that they are going to fight this and that they're going to ask the court to dismiss or quash the subpoenas. That means we're going to likely see a protracted legal fight, something that we actually did see last year when Eric Trump, another of former President Trump's sons, was subpoenaed to testify in the same investigation. He went to court to fight it. The Attorney General's office went to court to enforce it, and ultimately the court ruled in favor of the Attorney General, and Eric Trump had to testify last fall.